to present an overview of the benchmark pages. Each benchmark is presented as a two-page spread, similar to what you have here. All of the CLB pages are organized in the same way. So first of all, on the far left, you have the profile of ability that has been copied and pasted from the profile of ability charts at the beginning of the stage for the particular skill. The information in this section is exactly the same as in that previous chart. Now, the profile of ability is organized into three sections. You have the learner can statement, or in this case the speaker can, which is really a very broad statement of learner abilities in a particular skill at a specific benchmark level. Under that, you have when the communication is, which lists some very general features of communication that apply to all of the CLB competencies on the two-page spread. And below that, you have demonstrating these strengths and limitations, which are very general indicators of ability that apply to all of the competencies in the particular skill at that level. Now, to the right of the profile of ability, you'll see that each of the competency areas is presented in its own separate box and written in the color specific to the skill. So in this case, it's in red because that is the color for speaking. In the first box, we have interacting with others, and that's followed by the next box, which is giving instructions below it. And then on the next page, you would find getting things done and giving information. Now, below the name of the competency area, you have one or more competency statements that are written in black. Now, these are general statements of communicative language ability that encompass the types of tasks that may typically be associated with a particular benchmark. And underneath the competency statement, you may see a square bracket in black. It's not always the case, but sometimes you will see this. And this is a feature of communication that applies only to the specific benchmark competency above it. If a feature applies to various competencies, it will be listed in the profile of ability under when the communication is. And there's also detailed information about features of tasks and texts in the section of the CLB document called Some Features of Communication. It's a really good idea to look at these sections to ensure that the tasks and the texts that you're using in your class are level appropriate. Now next you'll see some sample indicators of ability, which are also presented in the color of the specific skill that you're looking at. These indicators can give you a general idea of what a person might need to do when they're attempting authentic language tasks related to the particular competency above it. You can refer to these indicators when you're developing criteria for your assessment tasks. It's important to note that these are really just meant as sample indicators, and that the actual indicators for each task are really determined by the purpose and the context of the specific tasks that learners are practicing in your class. And finally, you have the sample tasks to the right of the competency statements and indicators. Now, these sample tasks show how a competency statement can be contextualized in an authentic work, community, or study task. When referring to the sample tasks, keep in mind that these tasks do not define a benchmark, because in reality, you could use the same task across a range of benchmarks. But what distinguishes one benchmark from another is the way in which a person demonstrates communicative ability in relation to the task. So there you have it, an overview of the benchmark pages.